Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's available for free on itch.io. And if you want to support the people that make this game, make other games because this one's finished, then you can go to Patreon and give them monies. So, on the last Let's Play, we had a talk with our ex, Leo, about stuff, but also kind of put that on hold. Came to the sea, oh, not sea, but the riverside, chilled a bit, and then Flynn, the lizard guy, flipped his absolute shit. And now we are, seeing who we're going to go after. Because I did kind of ask on, the Discord, and they're like, yeah, whoever you kind of go after here is who kind of, it's on dating sim, I guess, but it's who you kind of talk to. Well, I'm kind of going between Jenna and Leo and TJ, and I feel like we should probably play this as we would play a game in general, because like Carl, he got a couple of punches, but he's just kind of sitting there. Jen and Leo, I kind of want to go after them because, Leo's husband, though, maybe, but not dating sim. Flynn, he can go fuck himself, at least for this playthrough. So I guess we're going to go after TJ because he got quite a bit of the brunt of it. So I'm really worried about TJ. He's a sensitive guy, and after a tongue lashing like that from someone like Flynn, I can only imagine the state he's in. I don't see him anywhere as I scan the area, but I do see some trees and bushes farther up along the riverbank. Since there's really no other place to hide, I assume that's where he's at. Sure enough, I see him immediately. He's sitting down, knees drawn up into his arms, folded on top of him, with his arms folded on top of him. He got his forehead sitting on top of his arms, staring down at the sand between his legs. I stand there for a moment, wondering if it would just be better to leave him alone. After a few seconds, I finally decide to sit down next to him, cross-legged. His ears flick in my direction, and he turns his head to the left, away from me. I notice a few wet spots between his feet. Maybe he just wants to be left alone now? Say something. I sighed that I need to break the silence. Hey, TJ? He doesn't say anything or move. You know how Flynn is. He's a dick. Again, silence. Everyone knows he's a dick. No one's mad at you. He does move, then sliding his leg straight out and leaning back on his paws. He's still looking away from me, rubbing his face on the shoulder. You wanna go back and eat? Finally. I can't believe he did that. In front of everyone. I'm not sure what to say, so I stay quiet. After a minute, TJ finally turned his head, looking at the river. The wind picks up, reflections on the river, highlighting motes of dust that swirl up around us. His face fur is a bit mussed up, spiked in a few places from being wet. It's an unusual sight to see his fur unkept. I mean, what the heck? TJ, unable to curse, even though it would probably be the best for him, he adjusts his legs and sits cross-legged like me, and wipes his face again. Did you know what he was talking about? I take in a breath, unsure how I should approach this. I think so? TJ ears lower. Listen, no one else thinks anything happened. We were so little, especially you. I mean, I can't believe he's doing this. I trace a claw through the dirt, drawing some wavy patterns as I try to make sense of it all myself. I think it's just because he was such good friends with Sydney, and he just wants more than the truth. I look sideways at TJ. He's just sitting there, looking at the ground. And I guess you were the only one that saw what happened, so he only has you to go after. I saw him drown. I don't say anything, but I feel myself cringe inwardly. Pretty soon, tears are running down TJ's face, but he doesn't bother to wipe them away. He's not just sad, though. He's angry. I hear it in his voice as he goes on. I saw Sydney drown, and Flynn thinks he's the only one that hurts. That hurts? He thinks that he's the only one that feels like he's in a nightmare. Well, maybe. His voice cracks, and he looks away from me again, wiping his face. Maybe I haven't told him everything because I don't want him to have those images in his head. TJ takes a moment to steady his voice, working to get his breath back to normal. I just wish I could go back to that day. TJ, there's nothing you could have done. I know my words are meaningless crap, and I hate myself for saying them. But I have to say something. Not one of us would have been able to do anything if we were there. You would have. Well, besides, I already know I couldn't have saved on my own. That isn't what. TJ takes a moment to wipe his face again, and when he's done, he doesn't go on. We sit there in silence for a long while after that, and I adjust myself so that I can lean back against a rock behind me. I pat the ground. Sit next to me, Tej. He calms down for the most part, and after a moment, he does crawl over to sit by me. I pick up a few pebbles and toss them into the river. Remember when we used to call it Seesaw River? Yeah. He leaves it at that, so I drop it. I rest my head back and close my eyes, only then realizing how tired I am. In some way, I can see why Flynn is so suspicious, or at least why he believes there's more to the story. There clearly is. But while I do want TJ to tell me more about what happened, I can never bring myself to ask him. I honestly feel like if I ever want to help him with his past, I should probably come to terms with it myself. I crinkle my brow, toying with the idea of going back. It's something I actively avoid thinking about. We all do. But like Jenna said, maybe talking about it, thinking about it, might actually help. I dig my fingers into the pebbles on either side of me. The images coming in a quick flurry, like someone circling through a Viewmaster too fast. Oh yeah, isn't that the thing where it's like you have a wheel and you put it in the thing and you pull the trigger and it switches to another view? I always love those things. The sky is getting cloudy. The air is crisp. Autumn. TJ is sitting in a daze, Jenna running back to town, Flynn pulling me into the water, me grabbing onto neck fluff, pulling back to shore. Onto neck scruff? Carl sitting on a rock, bawling. Neo starts trying to do compressions. And Sydney just stares. Sirens, the helicopter rotors, adults everywhere. I'm home. Mom's holding me. Dad puts on my favorite movie. I watch. But still, Sydney stares. I open my eyes again, and the world is blurred. The light reflecting off the river makes me squint. I rub my eyes in the back of my paw, and it comes away wet. My chest hurts, and so does my head, throbbing and buzzing. I look over, and luckily for me, TJ's leaned back, with his eyes closed as I was. If revisiting that day is so horrible for me, I can't imagine what it's like for him. So wasn't that, it was just him and Sydney there, or were all of us there? because it seemed like him and Sydney were there just. I sighed right then that I'm not going to press TJ on what happened. He wants to tell me more. He'll do it on his own accord. I kind of want to swim again, but at the same time I don't. I felt that feeling today, no with regards to swimming. That day really fucked up my view about water. He ruined the whole trip. TJ speaks suddenly, and I look over at him. Lynn? No, he hasn't. Wait. Oh, that, we can still resuscitate this trip. Maybe not the right words. Just said. Anyways, TJ does finally look at me. Then I'm struck by how disheveled and sad he looks. I feel anger bloom in my chest. All of it directed at Flynn. What a selfish prick. Thinking he had the right to ruin everyone's good time just because he felt like shit. If we were here right now, I'm pretty sure I'd punch him right in the gut. Listen, we don't all need to hang out to have fun. We had fun at the park with just you, me, and Carl, remember? If Flynn wants to be a douchebag, then let him. We'll do our own thing. But hopefully with Leo and girl son, I don't remember her name. Sorry, it's been maybe a week or two. TJ sniffs, as I see his tufted ears perk up a little. Didn't you want to go hike up the trail? He smiles at that and looks at me. It's the porno music again. You didn't want to hike, I could tell. I grin. It's 'cause it's so frickin' hot. Seriously, we didn't come here to lay in the motel all week. And we can bring water. Just dump it on yourself every half hour. That's all I manage, along with taking plenty of breaks. Never thought of dumping water on myself, really. TJ leans back and spreads his legs out. I can see he's starting to get excited on the prospect of hiking, and that makes me feel better. Well, if you're able to do it, I guess I shouldn't complain. I look over his fluffy form, which, by itself, is enough to make me sweat even more than I am already. I always thought you'd go after your graduated high school. I always thought you'd go back after you graduated high school. The Great White North. I'd say dramatically, nodding upwards as if that's where it is. Your parents did. TJ's family moved to Echo when there was only six from the small town called Wastachla. Not gonna try that again. His dad got a job in Echo to survey land or do something with the wildlife. I can't remember exactly what it was. Oh, well, I don't really remember it, but I might after I graduate. They have some things up there that sound really nice. Free healthcare? Sheh, that, I guess, and snow. For a moment, I wonder if snow is to lynx as water is to an otter. I mean, they do have those big frickin' paws. Well, snow did sound kind of exciting to me, though. Here, you'd be lucky to see a single dusting of it in a year. So, you're serious about hiking with me? Of course. I'm gonna bring some of my equipment too. I think I want to get some shots of the canyon. Okay. He wags his furry feet back and forth, and I hide a grin with it at his enthusiasm. Alright, so we're going to have to get up around 6. Oh? I want to be able to make it to the canyon for lunch. Or we can rest for an hour or two then. You can tell exactly how excited TJ is by how much he talks. Well, if anyone's good at planning things out at a ridiculously meticulous level, it's TJ. We sit there for another 20 minutes or so and just talk, mostly about school and what our plans are once we graduate. I promised TJ that we'll meet up again before I do. That's when I get a text from Jenna asking where we are. I stand up, brushing up my pants off before reaching down to help TJ up. Well, you better go back. Guess they're all wondering where we are. When we get back, everything's packed up in the van. along with Carl and Jenna. Leo, leaning against the van, waiting for us, his paws in pockets. He looks at me, then over at TJ, obviously trying to gauge his mood. Everything good? Yeah. TJ answers before I can, and whether or not he's actually okay, he sounds happy enough. Well, alright then. We get in the van at this point. No one's saying anything as we make the short drive back to the motel. As we get out, Leo tells us all he's going to have a word with Flynn, and despite the spoiled afternoon, we still had stuff to do over the week. I'm not too convinced myself that it will happen. I'm convinced that it's going to be awkward as fuck if we do. Just checking the time. Leo leaves for work at that point, though Carl does end up coming with us to the motel room. The rest of the day is pretty uneventful. Watch a few movies, then go to the diner for dinner. Afterwards, we just sit in the room and talk. Carl filling us in on how things have been in town over the past 3 years. It's not long before the conversation drifts back to Flynn and his outburst. I think she's just antsy, because he's realizing how shitty it's been without you guys. Trust me, he's already kicking himself for it now. Even if he is, it doesn't mean anything unless he apologizes. You know he is, Jenna. He's sorry even if you won't say it. I don't care. He's gonna have to realize that none of us have to put up with him anymore. Hey, why don't we all just get some ice cream? I've been waiting to go to Ray's ever since we got here. It's hard to tell if TJ is just trying to change the subject, or actually wants ice cream. Probably both. Hey, if you want to drive half an hour to Peyton, sure. What? Why? They moved it there. It sucks. I haven't had their rocky road in a year now. Oh. Well, let's just stop by when we go to Peyton next. I assume we aren't staying in Echo for the rest of the trip. Oh, Chase, can you take us? I just smile at him for my spot on the couch. Sure, why not? Yes, I'd love the cookie dough. What about you, Jenna? Jenna's busy looking at her phone. Oh, well, I've always enjoyed their butter almond. It's hard to find a flavor anywhere else. TJ looks at me, and I open my mouth to answer. But for a moment, I draw a blank. The memories of Ray's hazy and blurred. My head is still buzzing. Oh, vanilla? I've been feeling pretty shitty ever since I had that talk with TJ by the river. I make a mental note to steal some of Jenna's aspirin before I go to bed. Well, Flynn was right about one of us at least. Carl? What's wrong with that? Everyone likes vanilla. I grin, even though Carl's comment hurts me more than it should. Is that a sex joke? He's just joking after all. But I mean, who loves it, right? Personally, a personality of a rock. I think it's a good answer, especially if you put toppings on it. The buzzing picks up, and I feel a dull pulse behind my eyes. 3 of them continue to talk amongst themselves as I lay my head back against the couch. I close my eyes, trying to will away the pounding in my head. I open my eyes. The room is dark. Jenna is in her bed, TJ in his, Carl wrapped in a blanket on the floor. I lurch for my camera bag, then look around wide-eyed. I sit on the bed next to TJ and stare at the door. TJ stands at the edge of the lake, staring across to the other side. He has one paw in his pocket and the other holding a beer. He takes a drink from it. TJ doesn't drink beer. He pulls the tab from the top, then flicks it forwards towards the lake. It whizzes like a weed cutter, skipping across the water and kicking up spray. Suddenly, his ears snap up and he sees something I don't. He turns and starts to run. He's at a dead sprint when his leg snaps out from under him. Snaps? And he falls to the rocks, beer splashing everywhere. A chain is pulled taut from the lake, connected to his ankle. I get up, wanting to help, but I can't. Look down, my wrist and ankle chained. Thursday. Truth be told, I guess I ain't feeling too hot right now. So we're gonna cut this one a bit short. Sorry. But, yeah. That's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. Sorry that's only 20 minutes, but, you know, some people like 20-minute stuff. But yeah. It'd be interesting to check out the other routes. We're gonna have to keep this one safe, so that, you know, stuff. Probably should just not do some of these when I'm not feeling too good. And I was just feeling like, I don't feel too good. We could use some more of these. Let's do it. You know, me feeling bad, person in the game feeling bad, yee. But no, not the smartest idea. So anyways, end of the Let's Play. So please comment, guys. Like, comment, comment you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise if you like my YouTube and like to grow. Then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest up grow, and please remember to spay your animals to control the pet population. And I think, you know, just leaving it to Tuesday is a good way to do it. But I have to assume that since it's just Tuesday and stuff like that, that this game might just stay for a week. Which does kind of set the pace, I guess. Don't know. And until next time, let's play GamerWolfSix of Echo. So thanks and see ya.